Welcome back to Project 613. Today we are going to learn 5 mitzvot. The first is that in order for an animal to be acceptable to be brought as a sacrifice in the Holy Temple, it has to be at least 8 days old. Only from the 8th day and on can an animal be brought as a sacrifice in the temple. We know this from the verse that says, for 7 days it shall be with its mother, and then on the 8th day it shall be accepted as a sacrifice. The second mitzvah that we learn today is that an animal that was used to pay for a prostitute, or an animal that was used to buy a dog, either of these two animals cannot be used as a sacrifice. The Torah refers to them as an esnan zona or mechir kelev. It's forbidden to use either of these two as a sacrifice. The third mitzvah that we learn today is that it is forbidden for us to offer up on the altar anything that has any honey or leaven in it. So no honey and no leaven could be offered on the altar. Many reasons have been given for this mitzvah. One of them is that both honey and leaven both represent ego. They represent boasting. The leaven rises, and honey, when it's boiled, it boils in a much more extreme manner than other liquids. So both these two do not belong on the altar, which is there to bring atonement and as a symbol of humility for the person bringing the sacrifice. The fourth mitzvah that we learn today is that it is an obligation to bring salt. On every sacrifice there has to be some salt. As the verse says, Al kol karboncha takriv melach, with every sacrifice there should be salt. And the fifth and final mitzvah is a parallel prohibition, where the Torah tells us it's forbidden to bring a sacrifice without having salt on it. As the verse says, V'lo tashbit melach brit elokecha, you shall not offer up a sacrifice without salt, for God has made a special covenant with the salt that it would be offered on every single sacrifice. This mitzvah is actually one which is commemorated until this very day. One of the reasons why we have salt on our table is not just in order to be able to add salt to the food in case the food is lacking salt, but because our table is compared to the altar, and on the altar there was always salt. Therefore, on our table when we have a meal, we always make sure to have some salt, and we dip our bread in the salt to remember and commemorate this mitzvah. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.